Sup flappers, so today we are looking at some really crazy stuff. The things you are about to see in this video may surprise you, but first, as always, a shout out to my notification squad. You guys have been on top of things and hats off to you all. For the others just joining us for the first time, I mentioned this in the beginning, since people get so entranced by my videos that they forget to like and subscribe after they are done. Just do it now and save yourself the trouble later. On this channel, we do daily uploads just like this one, so you can always come back here for some superb walrus content. Also, we are currently on our way to 10,000 subs as a goal, so do help out by tapping that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into it. So what we will be mainly focusing on today is the difference between XinYan as a main DPS for Constellation 0 all the way to Constellation 6. We want to find the sweet spot, the G spot if you will, for constellations. And guys, get used to it, I am an erotic walrus. The innuendos are kind of my thing. Now, not only are we going to look at constellations, but also get the best in-slot weapon in combination to the 3 most popular artifacts people are running her with. So this is how the tests have been done. For each set of artifact, I have ran XinYan through 4 selected domains and then phase 1 of Child 5 times, and then took the average of the runs as the final score. Then I did this again with the other weapon and repeated this process for Constellation 1, 2, 4, and 6. Keep in mind, for tests, I played as a normal player would, but limited certain functions of my team, such as I did not use ZHONGLI's burst skill at all for testing. For ZHONGLI, I ran him for using Crystallize to get shields for XinYan's Bolide set, and apart from that, ZHONGLI did close to nothing. For other characters, they have been leveled and equipped with baseline artifacts that people should be able to obtain through farming domains. For skills, I just played as how I would normally play, and through 5 run averages, they turned out fairly close. Finally, arriving at a definitive answer for which artifact set at which constellation with which weapon is the most ideal for DPS. Now, let me tell you, this took a lot of time and in-game resources to make. I have been working on this for over a week as I grinded out artifacts and levels for my characters and weapons. So if this video ends up helping you, please help me by liking and subscribing, and also sharing this video to people who may need it. Anywho, let's start at Constellation 0. During this stage, it was clear that there's one artifact set that performs better than the others. The 4-piece Bolide outperformed both 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Bloodstain, as well as the 2-piece Bloodstain and 2-piece Gladiator. Although different artifact sets performed better than others in specific areas, the Bolide set was able to beat out the other two with an average clear time of just 1 minute and 38 seconds using the Skyward Pride, and 1 minute and 52 seconds with the Wolf's Gravestone, compared to the Noblesse and Bloodstain set, which took 1 minute 44 seconds with the Skyward and 1 minute 48 seconds with a Gravestone. Finally, the Bloodstain and Gladiator set finished with 1 minute 43 seconds for Skyward and 1 minute 53 seconds for Gravestone. These results, as mentioned below, are averages, and it shows that when at C0, using the Bolide set with the Skyward Pride will give you the best results. Granted, you can upkeep the shield. Moving on to Constellation 1, I saw almost no change with the times, and at points even worse performances. This could be attributed to player error and to the fact that I was just playing as a normal player would and not tryharding to min-max every aspect of gameplay. Looking at the Constellation 1, we can see that it only yields benefits upon landing crits. And with my artifact sets stacking crit damage, I could not get good yield from this constellation. For Constellation 2 is where I saw a big spike in performance. What this essentially has accomplished is add more emphasis on her burst skill and gave her 2 ways to activate her tier 3 shield. Through looking at the data, we can see that the Bolide set had moved up to 1 minute 12 seconds with Skyward Pride and 1 minute 23 seconds with the Wolf's Gravestone. Noblesse and Bloodstain with Skyward was 1 minute and 35 seconds and 1 minute 39 seconds with Wolf. Finally, Bloodstain and Gladiator finished with 1 minute 38 seconds for Skyward and 1 minute 40 with Wolf. Bolide still sits comfortably at first, and it shows through testing. The extra 40% boost outshines any other bonuses the other sets offered. Even with a 20% boost on her burst damage using the Noblesse, it cannot compete with a flat boost in normal attacks. And this is why in all my guides I have always told you guys that the single most important metric for any main DPS is their white damage. It's the most reliable and you will be using it for 99% of the time your character is on the field. Now onwards to Constellation 4. This is an interesting stage for the Constellation as it saw close to no gains for clears, and it makes sense. The 15% physical reduction is good on paper, but when you consider the cooldown of XinYan's elemental skill being 18 seconds and it takes under 5 seconds to kill most monsters anyways, it feels quite underwhelming. For those who are wondering how bossing performed with this buff, there was not a noticeable buff. The time averaged to be 2 seconds less than previous runs at C2, which was 45 seconds with Skyward and 50 seconds for Wolf. All in all, the time for this constellation with Bolide was 1 minute 14 seconds for Skyward Pride and 1 minute 20 seconds for Wolf's Gravestone. Noblesse Bloodstain was 1 minute 35 seconds with Skyward and 1 minute 37 seconds with Wolf. Finally, ending it with Bloodstained Gladiator, we have 1 minute 38 seconds Skyward and 1 minute 39 seconds for Wolf. As mentioned, the results showed close to no boost or time compared to Constellation 2. Also, do keep in mind that we also gained 3 talent levels for XinYan's elemental skill at Constellation 3, and it did not translate to a meaningful power spike. Going off this, I was hoping to see a bigger jump at Constellation 6 to see if going beyond Constellation 2 is going to be worth it. And finally, we have the ultimate test, Constellation 6. This was an interesting constellation as it focused so heavily on one aspect of XinYan's kit, and that is her charge attack. In previous tests, I did not put emphasis on her charge attack as they were difficult to use and could be disrupted easily. However, it was important to make an effort to maximize its effect for Constellation 6, and the results showed. So starting with Bolide again, we have 1 minute 6 seconds with Skyward, 1 minute 7 seconds for Gravestone. Noblesse Bloodstain was 1 minute 8 seconds for Skyward and 1 minute 6 seconds for Gravestone. Finally, we have Bloodstained Gladiator, 1 minute 8 seconds for Skyward and 1 minute 6 seconds for Gravestone. All in all, we can see that the results this time are far more competitive. For those who have watched until this point, congratulations. The winner for this comparison turned out to be the 4-piece Bolide and Skyward Pride combination. After further thinking and testing, it was due to 2 main reasons that this combination was superior to everything else from Constellation 0 all the way to Constellation 6. First was consistency. With a support unit who could generate geo reaction or just a shield, was able to upkeep the effect of 4-piece Bolide, and that 40% normal and charge attack buff was invaluable, especially with XinYan's 6th constellation buffing her charge attack. For those who were wondering, then how come the Bloodstained Gladiator piece did not win out with its 43% buff? The reason is that with Bolide, you also get a 20% shield durability buff, and when considering XinYan, her shield ticks for quite a lot of damage if you add it up over time. Having your shield broken early means that you end up losing out of a good chunk of AoE dot damage. Some of you may also be wondering if superconduct teams would have been good and worked better with other artifacts. The reality is, while playing a superconduct team, I could not get the superconduct effect to be applied effectively, and there was a lot of downtime with the exception of boss fights, where the Bolide and superconduct was able to get a slightly better time, but the average time was not as competitive. The superconduct team I used was XinYan, Fischl, DIONA, and ZHONGLI. And with that, allow me to summarize the results of this test. Starting with Constellation 0. The best result was Bolide and Skyward's Pride with a clear time of 1 minute 38 seconds. Moving on to Constellation 1, there was no change in results. Bolide and Skyward was still the best option at 1 minute 40 seconds. Constellation 2, we saw a big spike, and 1 minute 12 seconds was the time to beat, again with Bolide and Skyward. Constellation 4, 1 minute 14 seconds was achieved yet again by Bolide and Skyward Pride. Finally, at Constellation 6, everything came together, and the best time was 1 minute 6 seconds achieved by Bolide Skyward, Noblesse Bloodstained Gravestone, and Bloodstained Gladiator Gravestone. It was interesting how other options was able to perform with the Constellation 6 emphasis on XinYan's charge attack. This gave the artifact, apart from Bolide, the ability to deal more AoE damage, since prior to this, the Bolide set with the 20% shield bonus had a more durable Rave shield, which ended up edging out, with Constellation 2 also adding a free Rave shield after her burst skill. Bolide was able to maximize on both its 2-set and 4-set effect. Constellation 6 All in all, gave tools for other options to perform and a good boost to overall damage if you are able to utilize XinYan's charge attacks. It was certainly easier to do it with Bolide since there was wind up when using the charge attack. You could end up taking massive damage if you're not shielded. If worse, you could be knocked back, which will hurt your overall DPS. The weapon Skyward Pride was outperforming the Wolf's Gravestone by every metric until Constellation 6. Skyward's Pride base attack was higher than the Gravestone, and even with Gravestone's 36% substat and further 20% attack boost, it was not enough to overtake the Skyward Pride. Oftentimes, I found myself rotating through burst skills extremely fast and even on cooldown at times when using the Skyward's Pride. The skill for Skyward was able to clear monsters faster and more consistently. Even the pesky ranged enemies would sometimes be killed with Skyward's skill, and I did not have to run the extra steps. And with Constellation 2, it greatly helped with damage output by adding the additional shield. Constellation 6 allowed the Gravestone to utilize its high attack numbers to make a comeback. So if you're thinking of building XinYan, the best way is to have a second shield user on the team and run the retracing Bolide set for her. If you have Skyward's Pride, you can use it, but if you do not, you can always use 4-star options. The retracing Bolide 2-piece set effect should not be slept on, as it gives a huge boost to her shield durability, and with Constellation 2, you get great benefits. Finally, to get the most out of XinYan's main DPS, Constellation 2 by far is the best yield for investment, and apart from Constellation 6, you should not be going for anything more than Constellation 2. And that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching until the end. If this video has helped you out, consider to like and subscribe. It took a lot of resources and testing to get this data, and if you all want to see more videos like this, the best way to let me know is liking, subscribing, and sharing it. Just like how numbers have helped you understand what is best for XinYan, numbers will let me know that I can keep making this type of content for you all. If you have more questions, please join my Discord or leave it below. My Discord link will be down in the comments or in the description. As this channel gets bigger, I cannot guarantee I will be able to respond to every single comment, but Discord is much more manageable. And with that, my time here is up. You may find other content on my channel to be helpful, so please take a look around until we meet again tomorrow. So until then, stay safe and peace.